For me, everything is dance. Everything is motion. Everything is energy, and it's a ebb flow thing. Sometimes you're leading, sometimes you're following. So, sometimes you're leading with your convictions and what you want to do and what your
Yeah.
plan is, and then sometimes the universe is like, yeah, I see and I hear that, but you need to come this way. You need to take that energy and put it this way, and then you'll might see the results that you want to see, and that's what I've been doing for the longest, not even just with solo expression dance studio. I've been doing that since my early 20s, just listening to the universe or trying to, even though I have things that I want to do and I want to accomplish, I've learned that the universe has the final say so. So you have to, pay close attention to what, actually what you're supposed to be doing, which, what sums that up is your purpose. Everything that you're saying, like what is your purpose? Because if what you're doing doesn't have a purpose, it's like, yeah, you'll start to question, well, why are you doing it? So you have to be very aware of what the actual intent and purpose is. And then, that's going to just lead you and that's going to guide you every single day. That's going to make you do it when you don't want to do it. That's going to make you study and want to get better at what you want to do. And that's what I'm in the current process of. Like it's always like a starting over process, and a lot of people don't like to do that,
Mhm.
but I have to do that, especially with the individuals that I work with, because one of the things that no matter what the diagnosis is, a lot of them have trouble retaining. So every day is like starting over, and it's like,
Mm.
man, it's like that's something. But when you stick to it and you create some type of regimen and routine for them, you can start seeing that type of progress and building. And we're no different. That's what this has taught me working with individuals with special needs. I hate all the labels. I hate disabilities, which is why I say evolving disabilities,
Mhm.
which is what the purpose of solo expression is, because once we move past labels and titles, it's just energy and it's just people's free will and it's just people's effort. And if people put in the effort with them and they put in the effort, you can easily transcend whatever these doctors are telling you, or whatever your triggers and traumas are. None of these things make or break you. You have the final say so for like what you're doing with people's healing and learning. Like you have the final say so if you're willing to put in the work.
Yes. I so agree with you on that. And I was just going to bring this up that you have on, I don't know, I think it was one of your posts on Facebook, your soul doesn't have disabilities.
Yeah, that's real. It's heavy. Like it just came to me and I actually started making shirts out of it. But like I wholeheartedly believe that because it's logic. It's not even so much that it's a catchy phrase.
Hmm.
It's logic. Think about that. Think about your soul. Think about who you are and why you're here. And yes, some of us have been dealt different hands, but we can't help that. But what we can do is not let those things define us. Like it's all about how you play the hand. So if you're tapped into yourself and it's like, yeah, I might be missing an arm. Yeah, my speech might be delayed, or even myself, I'm forgetful. Like that, and dance helps me with that all the time because of choreography and remembering. But we all have our thing, right? We all could be special needs if you really think about it. We're all on some form of spectrum. We all have some type of quirky, weird thing about us, right? It's just a matter of you tapping into it and be like, you know what, I do recognize that about myself and I want to get better at it. And either you need help or you have the wherewithal within yourself, to do it. So, this is just a great process. I always tell people if I would have knew that this is where dance was going to lead me, I would have started this so much earlier and I would have been helping individuals way earlier because my heart was content, by the time I was 23 with all the dancing and stuff that I was running around with the guys doing. So we had experienced all of that fast adult stuff really, really early in our lives. And, it's like I got all of that out of my system. Like I really genuinely wanted to help people and help other dancers. The way that dance had helped me, it was just figuring out how to do that. And it's like, yeah, you can teach classes till you blue in the face, but I do a little bit more than that. I'm really tapping into people's spirits, their souls, and really tapping into their brains, trying to get them to be able to do the things that I know how to do. It's just finding that endpoint and that endpoint, and finding the in between to get them to it, and that takes a lot because everybody learns and processes differently.
Yeah, that's so true. Um, so when did you start to make that transition into teaching
So
these
I've
kids?
I've been working with individuals with special needs for over a decade now. So I've always been working with them in those intimate type of ways, toileting, medication, bringing them out into the community. So I kind of always knew that there was a need for them to be able to have things to do. The state always has these mandates. Oh, you got to get them out into the community, but it's like, okay, what are they going to do? Like, they can't keep going bowling every day. So,
Mhm.
um, some of the individuals I started to work with in the past 4 years of me working with individuals with special needs, we just got, especially during COVID, we would just get up in the living room and we would play music and we would dance in the living room. And one of my coworkers was like, you could be doing a lot more with your gift. And at first I took offense to it. I'm like, what? You don't even know me. Like, I've done this, I've done that. But I had to realize real quick, I'm like, she was like, look at what you're doing. I said, you know what? You're right. And she was like, I know this place and you should go check it out and and see what's what. She didn't think I was going to check it out. She thought that I was just, because she was a older woman. So older women or older people think that young people are, yeah, in one ear out the other. But it wasn't. I immediately called the leasing office and I went and saw it. And I saw the first thing I saw, it had a ramp. I knew that it was going to be accessible for everybody. I knew that it was the spot, and I told her, I was like, look, and I texted her a picture of the key. I said, look, I did it within a week because I knew it wasn't nothing to think about. I saw it, and long as it was accessible for everybody, that was it. All I needed was space, and that it just started from there. And then slowly but surely, I started making connections with all the different agencies and different parents and things like that. And here we are, 4 years later, over 50 plus students on the regular. And then that number doesn't even compare to all the other students I work with between PA and New Jersey. I go back and forth because I'm from New Jersey. So
Mhm.
I always want to make sure that I'm giving back to home. So
Yeah.
I go back and forth to all the different special needs schools. And, I just, try to do my best, to evolve these disabilities and just evolve past all these titles and these different things, that these labels that make people look at people differently or treat people differently. Because I've learned that, man, we ain't no different. We're all the same. We all love music. We all love to express ourselves. We all love have to like to have fun and smile. And that's what we do, every single day. So I'm truly grateful I get to do that.